This is the story of the transformation from a man into a demigod. This man transformed from something completely worthless into a demon. Seeking nothing more but gains, fueled only by his own delusions, he pushed the human body to its limits. So far, in fact, that he almost didn't survive, barely making it out alive. This is the story of my own transformation. Over the course of the past 6 years, I've documented my fitness journey. The ups, the downs, the insane transformations, to the gear that almost ended me. And today, I'm going to share that story with you. This is a photo of me the day that I woke up, took a look at myself in the mirror, and realized I'm fat. What have I done to myself? I've been skinny my whole life, and then all of a sudden I'm just fat out of nowhere. This is what sparked, this is what fueled the delusion that would become the next 6 years of my life. This single photo that I took that morning, I told myself, I'm never going to let myself get fat again. This is not going to be my life. We're going to become a fitness model. We're going to become a fitness influencer on YouTube. That's going to be the goal. And that is the goal that fueled my weight loss, my muscle gain for the next 6 years. I started taking daily pictures of myself as I was losing weight. I thought, okay, the first thing we got to do is lose the weight. We can worry about the muscle later. If we just lose the weight, we should have abs, we should look good. Of course, that's not how things work. But I kept telling myself that. And over the course of a year, I eventually lost the weight, and now I was skinny. But everybody in the pursuit of gains knows that there is only one true fact about gains, and that's once you achieve one goal, you must set another. To achieve greater greatness, I needed to look like Thinx, I needed to look like a beach bod model, I needed to look like a Chippendale dancer, I needed to look incredible. Being skinny was not going to be enough to satisfy me. This past year, I had eaten only 1,500 calories, or at least tried to, every single day to lose all of that weight. When I started, I was 230 pounds. And now, I was 147. That is the perfect foundation to start building muscle. So that's what I did. I started lifting weights at the gym, which is something I wasn't doing at this point.
Merry Christmas, Dad. Here's my hair. I cut it for you for Christmas because I couldn't get you anything.
That clip was never meant to be seen by anybody except my father. Except, I'm showing it to you now, because this was the turning point. The turning point in which a boy became a man. I cut off my long hair and went with a more masculine hairstyle. After lifting more weights for a while, I actually started to get a decent physique. It wasn't bad. I was actually looking decent. It wasn't horrible. I was no longer fat. I was no longer just skinny. I had a little bit of muscle. And then the era of TikTok began, where I started posting TikToks. I may not have been the best looking guy. I may not have had the most defined muscles or the biggest muscles, but I did have some somewhat defined muscles, and that gave me confidence after coming from the fat mess I was to start posting on TikTok. And maybe I was looking for some sort of validation. I'm not sure, but I started doing it. One of my first posts on TikTok got me over 1 million views. Today, sitting at over 3 million. And all I was doing was push-ups.
100 push-ups a day, 30 days straight. Let's do it.
So this is what I looked like on day one. Frontal shot, side shot, other side shot.
I did a 30-day push-up challenge where I did 100 push-ups a day for 30 days straight. I have no idea what compelled me to do this. I just woke up one day and I said, I'm going to do a push-up challenge on TikTok. At this point on TikTok, I had literally no followers and almost no videos posted. But as soon as I started this push-up challenge, within a month or two, I had 30,000 followers on TikTok. All of my videos for this challenge got a crazy amount of views. I went completely viral. My dream of getting fit, looking good, and becoming a social media influencer was actually coming to light. My delusions were actually being brought into the real world, and I was excited. Except once I was done with this 30-day challenge, I didn't know what to do next on TikTok. So I set it aside. I had a lot of things with working out, trying to get fit, trying to look better, and also work. I just didn't really have time for TikTok at the moment.
What am I doing? I am testing the iPhone camera. The camera.
But even though I sat down the dream of being a TikToker for the moment or a social media influencer, it didn't bother me. I was looking so good. I was looking so healthy. Compared to where I started, I looked incredible. I was loving life, everything about life. This was the delusion I was living in, and it didn't take long for me to become totally obsessed with myself, a demon, completely out of my mind, delusional. I bought a motorcycle and started living life in the way that I always wanted to. I started becoming the person I always wanted to be. It should have stopped here. I shouldn't have kept going. I should have just stayed how I was, maybe slowly gained muscle over time. But that's when the dirty bulk happened. I had convinced myself that my muscle gain was too slow. The only way to gain muscle faster is to eat more food, and if I eat more food, then I can gain muscle incredibly quick. I mean, how else am I going to become a fitness influencer? If I don't have muscle, if I don't look like Thinx, then how's it even going to be possible? The thought had never even crossed my mind that I'm getting millions of views on TikTok, literally millions of views. People are asking, what's next? What are you going to do next? Like, the thought didn't occur in my head. You're already a fitness influencer, you should just keep posting because people are asking to see more of you. That never crossed my mind. I thought, hey, I need to do a really dirty bulk, get really big, strong, and then do a cut, get really big, strong muscles, and then boom, I'll be able to be a fitness influencer. I was already a fitness influencer. Like, what is wrong with me? The grand delusion of just becoming freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger started taking over my mind, and that's the only way I could see that it would ever be successful. Delusion. Well, kind of. I mean, a dirty bulk, that's not that big of a deal, right? People do that all the time. It's not necessarily an unhealthy thing. But the thing about a dirty bulk is you gotta cut all the fat off. And while you're cutting, you lose mass. You lose fat and you lose muscle, or at least that's what I was afraid of. So desperately trying to find a way not to lose all my muscle, I went to a TRT clinic. Which you would think is fine. It's TRT, it's a clinic, they're gonna do tests on you, make sure that you're healthy and everything's fine. Except I didn't like their price, so after using them for a while, I went to the dark web. I went to a Discord server, some random server I had never heard of. I joined it, and within 10 minutes I had purchased some TRT of my own. My thought process was, why spend $60 a week when I could spend $80 for a 3-month supply? So I went from the mentality of, I'm never gonna touch that stuff, to, I need this stuff right now and I'm willing to order it off the dark web just to save a little bit of money. I got skinny again. I did my first muscle up. At this point my body was exactly what I always wanted. Maybe I couldn't get rid of the last little bit of belly fat, but overall compared to where we started, I actually felt as if I had become a demigod. Everywhere I went, I would get compliments or even free stuff. People treated me like I was a greater being. My confidence was through the roof. I could do anything. I could talk to anybody. I had achieved everything I always wanted. I even saved up $15K from working. I was on top of the world. But then I got a bloody nose. I thought, well, I live in the desert, so it's probably just dry. Then I got some kind of back injury that still haunts me to this day. I think to myself, I must have pulled something, maybe a muscle or a tendon. I'm not sure. All I know is I woke up with these dots on my back and had very, very mobility limiting pain pulsing down through my back. To this day, I don't know what the injury or the bloody nose were all about. But with all my newly found confidence, I flew to Japan. My first ever Japan trip. I walked around at night, and every 10 steps I took, someone would stop me and either tell me I'm handsome or tell me I had big muscles. I had a few girls in the street flexing their arms at me from a distance, which was a weird thing to see. I went to a bar, and the lady serving me a drink asked me what I do for work. I said personal trainer because I do some of that on the side. As I said this, I pulled my sleeve back and flexed my arm. She started jumping and clapping. Then she grabbed some of her friends. They said, "Do it again." And then those friends grabbed some friends and they also asked to see it again. Next thing I know, I'm surrounded by 20 women and they're all jumping, clapping, and screaming. And I don't know if it was 20 or 30 minutes, but they kept making me flex over and over and over until eventually I had to tell them that was enough. This was the power of muscle. This was the type of fun I always wanted to have. When I came back to the States, I started using my dark web gear. I don't really have pictures of this time, but I was huge. I kept going to the gym and eventually I started feeling strange. It always felt like my blood was boiling, like there was something under my skin. When I would go to bed, right before I would fall asleep, it would feel like my head was empty, like there was nothing flowing through it. My heart would feel as if it stopped. Sometimes pins and needles would shoot through my limbs. One day I woke up in the middle of the night and my knees were in severe pain. That pain never fully went away. All this was scary, and it went on for months until one day a lump appeared under my skin in the back of my neck. Smaller than a golf ball, but bigger than a bouncy ball. My fingers and toes looked like when you put them in water for really long periods of time. I guess you could say pruny. I felt like I wasn't going to be alive much longer, so I quit the gear. I stopped going to the gym as much.
Kind of just look like Baki right now. I'm really loving it. So we got a little belly fat left. It's okay. Bro, we be looking like Baki, bro.
And that brings us to today, maybe a year later. Most of my problems have gone away. The growth in the back of my neck is still there. My knees still hurt sometimes. My back still has mobility problems. But overall, I'm okay. I mean, I never got anything checked out, but I feel okay. Recently, I started going back to the gym and I feel alright. Looks-wise, I'm not bad. It's just not the peak that it once was. And I'm still happy, so thanks for watching.